Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter. The name of the chapter is Lord of the Jungle by Colonel P.T. Etherton. This chapter or this story perhaps is based on some real life experience, and it is perhaps based on tigers. So, tiger, by this name, we can imagine an animal with fierce shape and very beautiful to look at. Tiger is very beautiful indeed. So, let's start the chapter. You take your books and read line by line with me and listen very carefully. Tiger worshippers, that means some person who love tigers very much, and they are very fond of it, are to be found not only among the tribes of Asia or among sportsmen and hunters. They may be seen any day gazing spellbound through the bars at the zoo, hurrying to the circus, or looking at illustrations in books. That means the person who loves tigers so much, they never miss a chance to gather knowledge about tiger. Whether it is a zoo or a magazine or something else where they can find anything about tiger, they truly take the chance to gather knowledge about that animal. Truly, without tigers, not only would the forest and the jungle lose their flame, but the world would become a tamer place. So, flame, that means flame is related with fire. So, why did the author talk about flame? Because he talked about flame not to refer to the fire. He talked about flame to make it more furious and the endangered and the dangers that may come from tiger. Okay, so we can truly call that tiger is an animal which is at the same time very much furious and is beautiful also. Indeed, the animal is very beautiful to look at, and it is it increase the beauty of the jungle too. So the world would be a tamer place without tigers. Edward Lear has made the tiger famous in a little verse. In some lines of his poem, we can find about tiger that there was a young lady of Niger who went for a ride on a tiger. So Niger, that means Nigeria, I think. So a lady of Nigeria, she went for a ride on a tiger. She rode a tiger actually. They returned from the ride with the lady inside. But the fact is that he rode on the tiger, but the tiger have a lunch or dinner with the lady, and it ate up the lady with the lady inside. So he put the lady into his belly, and a smile on the face of the tiger, and it was so happy by eating and a human being. The tiger indeed is one of those hair-raising animals that everyone wants to see, but few want to meet face to face. I can remember some famous lines of a poet, of a very famous poet. He wrote in his poet that tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what the hammer, what the chain. So he described very beautifully in the poem. So I can remember this all well about tigers. So tiger indeed is one of those hair-raising animals that we afraid of it. We have the fear to be die with the tiger, by the tiger, that everyone wants to see, but few want to meet face to face. But no one wants to meet it face to face, because they know that it will eat them up. Sorry, tigers are divided into two classes. There are two kinds of tigers: the deer slayer and cattle killer, and the man eater. Once a tiger have the taste of man and its blood or flesh, then it will repeatedly eat a human being. So If a tiger is a deer slayer or a cattle killer, then we certainly can't call it a man eater. They convert into man eater sometimes. Bad teeth and old age often turn the tiger's attention to man. It is worth mentioning that for the tiger, the change is a great come down. It is as if a well-fed city or alderman were obliged to turn from oysters to cockles and limpets. So they change their taste when they taste different kinds of things like human beings, from cattle and deers to human beings. So tigers are tremendous walkers. They walk a lot. Man-eaters cover great distances in a night, as many as 40 or 50 miles. They go to some village in search of animals and human beings once they have the taste of humans, as though in fear of approaching danger. The ordinary tiger is also a great walker, pacing through the jungle. It walks beautifully and nicely without making any kind of sound by its feet. Head down, feet treading, velvet footsteps. Look, velvet footstep. That means the footstep never makes any kind of sound on its way. 20 miles a night. It can make a journey of 20 miles in a single night without thinking anything of such exercise. One can picture him roaming the jungle on long, wild forays, muscles tense, senses on the alert, a wandering highwayman with a roar that awakens the sleeping world into a start of terror. Whenever we heard the roar of a tiger, we feel with terror. It makes us so afraid that anytime it can jump up to anyone and it will kill that person or the animal. The roaring, turn the page. The roaring is in a way. So the roaring or the tiger, look, the picture is given here, is a hedgehog, is in a way a kind of thanksgiving for food, like is giving thanks to the food for the food. And though sometimes it serves to call up mates to the banquet. In stalking and bringing down his prey, a tiger does not spring. It does not spring upon its prey. There is no sudden. It doesn't make any hurry. It stealthily walks slowly to its prey. Steely leap into the air. No tremendous shooting forward as when a panther launches itself into space. Without fuss of any kind, the tiger arrives within close range. So very slowly and very stealthily, it arrives very close to its prey. Takes one or two quick balancing steps so softly that the prey doesn't hear it, and then rushes forward and suddenly jumps. Should the quarry escape from his attack, the tiger gives up the chase after about 80 or 100 yards. If it chase the prey, then it give up the chasing after 80 or 100 years chasing. Tigers kill as a rule every 4 days. So after every 4 days, it kills an animal. And though fasting is not popular with their kind, they don't like to fast. But you know something, that lions do not hunt if they are not hungry. But it is a fact with the tiger that they often hunt without the hunger. They are not hungry, but they can hunt because they are so much angry with any kind of cause. But a lion, on the contrary, is like a very much kingly in its manner. Okay, so let's carry on. They can fast for long periods or of time for a fortnight. So for a fortnight, that means for a 15 days, it can it can fast for a long for 15 days or even 3 weeks. That means 3 sevens are 21 days if necessary. No four-footed prowler moving along the green paths of the forest has such wonderful headlights as the tiger. His eyesight is excellent. Headlights, that means his eyesight is excellent and he can look very clearly in the dark night, and his pupils at night swell into glowing lamps. He has a first class swimmer. He is a first class swimmer, and a tiger learns to swim in its childhood by its mother, and his hearing is sharp, very sharp. Tiger's hearing is very sharp. Indeed, he has but one failing: he has practically no sense of smell. Had this sense been developed, if the sense had been developed, then what should happen? Come to the next page. To some degree of perfection as the others, then truly might the tiger menace man as well as the wilds. If it can sense, then it can sense the humans as well. Then as it hunts the animal, it will similarly it will hunt the men. So it will be very difficult for men if they can smell. So thank God for that. Only one foe does the warlord of the jungle's fear. The porcupine. He is small. The porcupine or the hedgehog, I told you earlier. There was a picture of the porcupine in your previous page. Yet he is an adversary who, in his defeat and death, often wins the victory. In such a battle between David and Goliath, the porcupine, if attacked, generally brings about the death of his giant attacker by sticking him full of spears with sweeping movements of the tail. So a porcupine is a great fighter. It can prick its spines into its hunter's body. Goliath is turned into a raging pincushion with little power of removing the pins. So, the attacker might be the attacker should not take the pins out, and it goes into death, into the lap of death with the growling pain of the pins. The porcupine has scores of quills on its back and tail. Black spears tipped with white and varying in length from 1 inch to 14 inches. One pin can be 1 inch to 14 inches long. So how horrible if a pin fully enters into someone's body. They are hidden in its fur and are lightly attached, and it can very quickly and softly can prick someone's body, and each has 1,000 barbs tucked away in the stem. These barbs appear immediately when flesh is touched. When the pin touches the flesh, then the barbs appear into the flesh. No animal except the porcupine can teach the tiger to mind his own business. So, porcupine is the only animal who can teach the tiger a lesson, that mind your own business, don't disturb me. Overall, the rest of the jungle, he holds absolute sway, and his appearance is the signal for alarm. The lordly somber stag roars, the monkeys utter screeching grunts of warning. So when tiger is approaching, the other animals of the jungle starts to give some signals. The peacock makes off in a flutter of color. It flew off to a distant place. The monkey started clutching, screeching grunts. The jackal, when near a tiger's kill, gets into an immediate fright, as though aware that he is playing with fire. Even man grips his rifle more firmly, and by hearing these signs and signals, man will be more able to aware of the coming danger, and then he will be able to uh, grip his rifle more firmly, for he does not wish to provide another sacrifice for the yellow god of the Indian jungles. So, the tiger is referred by the author, who is not an Indian, as the yellow god of our jungle or the Indian jungles. So, students, you can see that this piece of text is very much interesting, as because it is of tigers. So read each and every line very carefully, because this is a beautiful piece of text you have. So next day we will discuss the exercise and the extra questions. Perhaps I will read another text for you in my next class. Okay, so read carefully and be safe. Thank you.